And so the younger brother, receiving this letter from the older brother, immediately wrote a letter. Now, this was before email when you could zing it right back. This was even before Pony Express. Go back that far. This is when letters took a long time. So he wrote a letter, sent to his brother, and said, "Please, may I come join you? My land is not yielding very much, only a few potatoes. My family and I are barely getting by. Can I come join you, and I'll work? I can dig. I'll help you dig the gold of your land." And he was so excited, his just energy picked up, kind of like when we sang that song earlier. I saw some of you get a little lighter and a little brighter. He just began to entertain the idea that his life could get a little better, and so he started even feeling better. The letter came back, and it was real short and sweet, and it said, "No, you're not ready." Oh, he was incensed that his brother could have thought, "How am I not ready to go work with you and help dig some gold and make my life better?" So thank God it wasn't email and he couldn't fire off exactly what he thought at that moment. It took a while, and what he began to do was decide he'd prove it to himself. So he sent a letter back and said, "Okay, brother, I'll work on it." So he went out on his own land and he started digging and just exercising and doing everything that he could. And after a few weeks, he wrote a letter to his brother and said, "Listen, I've been digging, I've been working hard, and I'm ready. Can I come now?" Well, the letter comes back and it says, "No, you're not ready." So he's angry, but yet he goes back out again and looks around and he sees he's dug all this dirt up, and he wonders what's he going to do with it. So he starts to work on his own land, and he begins to realize that some of the dirt that he has unearthed actually was better quality than what his potatoes were in. And so little by little he starts working with it and making new fields and new beds and trying different crops, and his piece of land is starting to look better and better and better. He's feeling really good about it, and so he writes another letter to his brother and says, "Listen, I'm doing really well. I'm working hard. I'm managing my land well. Can I come now?" His brother responded back and said, "I'm glad to hear that you are doing well, but it's not yet time." And so with that, he wasn't quite as put off as he was the first time. He just went back out, continuing to work with his land. And the days and the weeks went by, and he forgot about it. Because by now he had created this little stream, this little pond, and was able to water his own stuff, and he looked around and it was flourishing. And so the day came when a letter arrived and it said, "My little brother, you are ready, come now." He sat down with his wife and his children, and they all decided, "You know what, we're just fine here." And so he sent the letter back to his brother and said, "Thank you, but I'm doing just fine." And as he wrote that letter, the story says that he went outside and he happened to notice some of the first earth that he ever dug up when he was angry. He went over and decided he would take that bit of dirt and work with it. And as he picked it up, what do you think he found? Gold, right there. We accept, we activate, and we put it to use. You see, so often in our life, I talk to people every day who are waiting. They're waiting to get better. They're waiting to get healed. They're waiting to be completely free of this. They're waiting for this. They're waiting for that. And I would just sometimes like to shake people, but that's not a good thing for ministers to do to their... But I want to hold up this mirror and say, you are ready. You are ready. You are ready. Right now. Right now. And what I'm reminding us is that the world needs us to be ready, because the third thing is this. If you participate, and we all do, we read newspapers, we listen to the radio, we watch television, we see billboards, we are on the internet, and we're flooded with information about the world as gloom and doom and going to hell in a handbasket quite often. And a lot of this stuff, unfortunately, is true, and yet there's a higher level of truth. And that truth is that which exists in the eternal realm, that which, no matter what, can still be at peace. Can you be sick and still know wholeness? Absolutely. Can you be rejected and still know acceptance? Absolutely. Can you experience failure after failure in one level and still know what it means to be ultimately successful at a soul level? Absolutely. That's what we're talking about. We accept, we activate, and we put it into action right here, right now. We don't leave home without it. How do we do this? The moment we have, no, I already read that. I want to share with you what Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, did every day. He said, "I am now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom." He affirmed that so often that whatever he greeted, whatever he met, that was his mantra. I am now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. In order for us to do this, we start by having it as our goal. We don't leave home without it. We don't leave home before we've made the conscious connection and remember. We start by having it as a goal. And then each and every day we act in our highest and best way possible. Cerny, would you give me a song? Barry Dennis, who used to be the music director for Center of Spiritual Living a number of years ago when Mary Manning Morrissey was at the Center for Spiritual Living, I had the opportunity to go out with her and connected with her music director, and he wrote the song and he gave me permission to use it. And when I was at Unity Village, when I was in seminary, every student in seminary at some time in their 2 years of the ministry program, you have what's called your chapel service. That's where you as a minister do your big service and all from Unity Village come. It's a big deal. And what so often happens is whatever your message is in that chapel service becomes the mission, the message of your ministry. Well, the title of my message was When Seekers Become Finders. And that's really the story of my life. And it's the story of your life. And it was then that I traveled to see Mary Manning Morrissey, and I heard this song. And the words will be up on the screen. And it says, "Right where I am, I couldn't be any closer. Right where I am, the presence of God is holding me right where I am." And I hope this is like a little jingle that goes far greater than "Don't leave home without it." I want this to get so stuck in your head that wherever you are at any point in time, you can begin to sing this to yourself and remember. Right where I am, I couldn't be any closer. Right where I am, the presence of God is holding me. Right where I am. With me. Right where I am, I couldn't be any closer. Right where I stand, the presence of God is holding me. Right where I am. One more time. Right where I am, I couldn't be any closer. Right where I am, the presence of God is holding me. Right where I